All right. So we're gonna start this shit off and no holds bars. No holds bars. Uh, so apparently Microsoft has done a unprecedented maneuver, right? Make sure the light is not fucking with me here. They did an unprecedented maneuver here, right? Where MLB The Show is actually coming out for the Game Pass day and date, day and date, day and date, and fine. You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of misconceptions. So I want to kind of clear up the misconception here. First and foremost, um, MLB is actually publishing the game for Microsoft, not Sony, not Sony, not PlayStation. None of that's going on there, right? So that's what we're working with there. That's number one. Number two, um, people think that Sony is receiving the bag, the money for this particular maneuver. That's not true either. That is being handled by MLB. Uh, People still think that Jim Ryan has something to do with this. That is Sony making the games for it and not wanting to lose the license for the game. Um, so they were kind of forced to put the game into um, multi-platform. You know, not only that, but Microsoft is doing all that they can uh, to make this the most lucrative business proposition, the Game Pass, right? That being said, we got all the factual shit out the way, right? Because this is something that Sony didn't do, Microsoft didn't do. I'm sorry, excuse me. Sony didn't do. Jim Ryan didn't do. I guess people were thinking to themselves like, what could Sony do? What Sony could have paid for extra. So I got a couple of questions to ask you guys. Um, so for starters, do you by any chance play MLB? Because does that affect you in some kind of way? And I guess that would affect the people who actually bought a PlayStation for MLB. And I know people that actually bought the console for MLB. But you must understand this. And before we really dig really deep into this, the first thing I want to say is Sony does have some sort of answer to Game Pass. And then I also want to state the obvious that Game Pass is only an interesting proposition if Microsoft can make all of the games day and date, which they will not be able to. There are many different subscription services, Ubisoft, EA Access, all of these different things where they all handle it differently. But there is some problems that I wanted to kind of tackle, which is so fucking vexing. I can't even, right? I woke up in the morning and I'm just like, oh my god, these fucking people are ridiculous. I hate Jim Ryan. It's a fucking company. Once again, it's a company. It's a company. Let me make sure I'm not. Hold on. It's lunch. Okay, cool. Okay. It's a fucking company. It's a company. Stop being so fucking invested in it like this. I mean, I'm selling my PlayStation. What is Sony going to do to combat this? There's so many exclusives out here. What is so they're making stuff for PC and making it look good graphically. Did you ever think to yourself that the PlayStation 5 may not be able to do fucking widescreen? It may not be able to do it. You fucking got 60 frames per second for the people that are complaining about Sony's not doing anything to them. Let alone you've gotten fucking great games without any kind of subscription service. Great fucking games. Top tier fucking games. But yet you still complain about it. They already gave you 60 frames per second for free. And they're working on other things. I see a lot of people saying that Sony is resting on their laurels. For what? There's not even review scores for Outriders, number one. So that was already an L to me for anybody that says that it's a good game. Number two, you got MLB The Show. I have never seen these motherfuckers play baseball, ever. And number three, you don't own the game. And I guess it was really big sense for a game like MLB because they keep refreshing the shit, every year. Microsoft has done shit like this in the past where they tried to buy Ninja and make their own fucking, mixer, and that shit flopped. People, the knee jerk reaction shit is really getting on my nerves. So anyway, that's the one thing I wanted to say. You don't keep the games on Game Pass. You don't keep them. And I could have sworn back in 2013, people really had a fucking problem with ownership of games. So now you're just getting a rental fucking service. Oh, what about game preservation? You do realize that eventually this shit comes off of the fucking service. You're renting the games. You don't own them, and it's definitely not free. That's number one, right? Number two, how many we all had Blockbuster, West Coast Video, fucking GameFly, and all this other stuff. These were rendering services that really didn't succeed, right? But let's just say, for fucking shits and giggles, how many? Let's say they succeeded. Out of the rented games, after you rented it to see how it was like, how many of them did you purchase after the fact? And I'm going to get into why that's important, right? So you got that shit going on. Number one, I mean, another thing to mention too, because I'm reading this shit too. I thought PlayStation owners said they don't want day and date. Didn't you say that? Isn't that what you said? I don't want day and date. Isn't that what it was? You know what I mean? Like this. Oh gosh. Oh boy. Another thing too. Subscription services are just not the way to go. I saw the Benji shill for Microsoft on Twitter. He consistently was like, "Oh, Disney is different than Game Pass. Game Pass is 18 million versus 100 million." I hope this stupid ass knows that Disney Plus has been inflated by Fios, Verizon Fios, and the other fucking phone services that includes it. They're doing the same thing like Game Pass. And then they had the audacity to raise the fucking price by $1 because they saw the numbers of people watching WandaVision and whatnot. So we got that shit going on too. That's a thing, right? Everybody's so champion for this shit, And I already touched on the point that people really like the games. They've gotten great games, but these great games come with a budget, and every generation these budgets inflates like by a massive fucking amount, right? Last generation it cost $200 million to make these games, and people were going to ask, why is he talking about sales numbers? Because it impacts you in the games that you purchase. It will impact you. That's why I'm talking about sales. That's why people are talking about the sales. It will impact you, right? So you got that shit going on, cool, right? You do realize that with the amount of subscriptions will totally dictate the type of budget that the games are going to be allotted. So let's just say it's doing really successful. There are still risks that you have to take into account. These risks that you take into account will definitely determine the type of budgets that you have. And they're going to keep putting these games out on the service. And the more games that you fucking have on these services, I guess you can rotate for the third party. But the more games you have on the service, the more money it's going to fucking cost. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. This is what's causing inflation, the subscription numbers rising. But you got to take a risk. So you're going to be like, okay, I'm willing to spend this much money. And if they are willing to spend a certain amount of money, that means that they can't spread their wings and really go balls to the wall with certain games. You know what I'm saying? There's so many contradictory narratives out here. It's so fucking ridiculous. I am so tired of hearing about the Jim Ryans. I'm tired of the knee-jerk reactions when it comes to this shit. I'm really just tired of the whole fucking shebang, kit and caboodle. It's very irritating. It really is. I thought I would be able to handle it. Fuck. Shut the fuck up. It's that irritating to me. So many whining fucking people. You have never fucking laid a toe on a fucking MLB. But yet you're fucking complaining because of the optics of what your favorite company looks like. if the shit says PlayStation Studios on another piece of fucking hardware, it's gonna be beneficial to PlayStation in that case. Whereas the fucking Benji sales dude, the Shield, stated that that wasn't the case. This doesn't benefit Sony at all. I think it wasn't Benji, actually. I apologize for that, Benji. I think it was Colin Morality or whatever the fuck this dude's name is. Everybody wants to jump into this and create some sort of sensationalist thing. At the end of the day, like I said before at the beginning of the video, it's not Sony's. It's not Sony's. They have no control of this shit, so it is what it is, right? It's not Sony's. The optics do look bad for this shit, but don't expect all these games to be coming day and day on the Xbox. Microsoft needs to, they need to wait until they get enough titles before they stop with the third party people jumping on board. Once they get enough titles, you're going to see a price increase. B, you're going to see the third party people making their own shit. And last but not least, all these subscription services that everybody say is so good and so great, right? All these people, I work in the cable industry, and this is the same shit that happened in the cable industry, where people were like, I'm going to cut the cord. I can get the fucking TV services for $35 a month. It is $70 now in a total of 3 years. Don't forget, this is the same companies that try to double fucking Xbox Live and then had to retract it the same fucking day. But that's the company that you guys want to trust, though. That's the company that you guys want to trust. And I do believe that Microsoft has some shields on there that keeps pushing Gamepass over and over and over again. I don't know if you guys realize this, but it turns out that was it Twitter? Let me see here. I think it was it wasn't Twitter. Let me see here. Screenshots. No, that's something different. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm gonna be able to find this bitch. But as it stands, Twitter was like, it was some company that basically was paying people for a campaign to go on a fucking rampage and say that it was good. And I think this is exactly what's going on with Microsoft. I'm sure Sony did it too, and Nintendo, and whoever the fuck else is doing it, because they know how powerful this shit is. They know how powerful all of this shit is. But yeah, you guys want to sit there and champion this shit. Yo, this is the ramifications for doing this. It's going to splinter the fucking gaming industry to the point where everyone's going to have their own subscription services, or you're just going to have to purchase the games any fucking way. There's a reason why the games are increasing in price. It's not fucking willy-nilly. It costs a lot of money to make games. And I feel like we're in the age of the most selfish fucking people there is. You got to understand that there are people that make games, and they need money too. And it's already a hard business as it is. But who the fuck cares about them, right? No one thinks about the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is that this is very dangerous. Anything like this, Game Pass, Netflix, Disney Plus, fucking PlayStation Now, all of these shits are dangerous. The only reason why Sony has a stake in that shit is just in case. That's all. The original way to go is to own your fucking content where it won't be shuffled over time. And people don't seem to fucking get it. I'm fucking done. I'm done. I had enough of this.